Hello, poor people. How are you today? In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to explain how integrity or the misunderstanding of it keeps you poor, especially if it's aligned to a superior moral conduct or a misunderstanding of its place in religion. The problem with this kind of mindset is you believe you're doing the right thing. Therefore, you're willing to look past the billions of dollars, the opportunities. In fact, all of this is now a story you tell people as a justification for your poverty. So you're comfortable being poor because you interpret all the opportunities as a misalignment to your values. So in tonight's discourse, I'm going to help you make better decisions as touching the opportunities that come forward. Again, I'm not endorsing compromise. I'm not trying to justify evil or lack of integrity or preach this narrative. If you're too integrous or your moral conduct is at its peak, it's impossible for you to make finances. It's impossible for you to get rich. That's far from it. In fact, I'm a religious person myself. I believe in doing the right thing. I believe in values. If you do not have values, it's impossible for you and I to get into business. I look for men who have a degree of morality. If someone, a business partner, doesn't believe in God, doesn't have values, no creed of conduct, that's not the kind of person you want to do business with because he would fuck you over for an advantage. There's nothing that guides his action. You don't see my belief has nothing to do with sentiments or I do not do business with a certain kind of people. No, it's because of the consequence of doing business with someone misaligned with your values. It's most likely he will do every and anything at your expense to get ahead. For that reason, when I say someone with values, I'm searching for a business partner that I know his tendencies, I know what he believes in, I can vouch for him in certain scenarios. Why would you want to do business with someone whom you're always looking over your shoulder? Exactly. Let me ensure we are not exceeding our 5 minutes. But the main discourse, the main point I'm trying to highlight is the misunderstanding of integrity, especially in today's day and age, has cost people opportunities, has cost people higher quality of life, has cost individuals a lot. Then it appears as though God is not alive or evil always wins, justification of evil, people who are good somehow are dampened, and all the good people you know are poor. It's not necessarily as a consequence of their values, but the misunderstanding or the misalignment of those values to the cosmos. I was with a guy one time and he said he turned down a business opportunity to create a website because he felt like it was scam. Let me get this straight. In fact, that's not an example I want to use. But you turned down an opportunity because you felt the website is going to be used for fraudulent means. And this is a very controversial subject and it has to be taught with a lot of balance. But I'll see what I can do within the limited time. But if you have a website or you're contracted to create something, as long as it doesn't align with your values. In fact, that example is an extreme one. Let me think of something else. I know a guy who was supposed to purchase a piece of property, but because the owner was at an opposing club, in an attempt to pledge loyalty to the current constituents, he refused the opportunity. Also, there was this lady who would not sell her produce, turn down contracts because the person is of a different faith system. Now, from an obvious standpoint, it might sound very stupid that I'm bringing up something like this because of the harsh reality of life has forced individuals to do business with any kind of people, even though your color is green, as long as you're willing to pay. But the Bible makes it clear, behold, I've sent you as sheep unto wolves. And if you do not understand the laws of the jungle, you will get eaten. If you do not understand how the cosmos works, you will be at a loss. I was speaking to a bank manager the other day, and I asked a question, something along these lines. Do you truly believe that every single person with an account got his money through legal means? Exactly. Your job is not to investigate every single person and try and do the work of a detective. No, it's not a moral argument. You're there to manage people's money. That is your job. As a property owner, do I truly believe every single person who engages in intercourse are married? Exactly. So you have to sit and be objective. Again, I'm not endorsing evil. I'm not saying do every single thing to get money, dump your morality, dump your values. No, it's far from it. But ensure you're not turning down opportunities from a fanatical standpoint. You're not missing out on deals because of a wrong mindset of what it means to be integrous or godly. There are people today who would never help someone, or even if they help, they won't receive the favor that comes from the consequence of that benevolence. For instance, you raised a young man who then becomes a professor or a dean or someone of high standing in the academia. As a consequence of that benevolence, he decides to help your kid through school or gives her an opportunity without an entry exam. To you, you interpret it as, that's wrong, and why would he do that? To you, that's somehow corruption. But it's not. Please, this is a very unique example that has to be taught with a lot of balance. But it's not. Unfortunately, that's how the world works. For the sake of time, we'll end it here. As always, my friends, a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.